All right, everybody, welcome to The Regulars. Over a Couple of Drinks presents The Regulars. I am your host, Bill Henning, and with me tonight is the shiny balded man, Michael Knight. Say hi, Mike.
Hey, everybody.
We're, listen, some of you people, and I mean none of you because nobody watches this shit.
You mean you people?
You people are probably thinking, like, man, where are these guys? What have they been doing? You know, we've missed Game of Thrones for a couple of weeks, and the S.H.I.E.L.D. recap that we're talking about tonight happened last week. Well, people have lives. Fuck off.
That's my cat.
He's not in the frame yet. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
He will be. Get off the computer. Anyway.
So tonight, Mike and I are talking about the finale of S.H.I.E.L.D., including Scars, the episode before that, because we didn't cover it here. Which all you really need to know is I'm going to cover it real quick. Is that what is it? Zhao Ying? Is that her name?
Jia Ying.
Jia Ying goes fucking crazy and kills Odama. So.
Odama?
General Odama.
From
Battlestar Galactica.
From Battlestar Galactica. Okay,
yeah.
Sorry, I'm sorry. The cat is fucking with the computer. I'm gonna have to throw you out. This is Iggy. Say hi to the 4 people watching us, Iggy. Hey, bud. There you go.
There you go. Okay, bye-bye. And Jonesy's skulking behind me. You know, fucking cats. I'm gonna drink my beer.
You guys see my wash T-shirt?
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's talk. You sent me a text message, which is why I wanted you on, that you were underwhelmed by the finale.
I was.
So let's just go through it, and then afterwards we'll talk about our feelings on it, okay?
Okay.
So let's start with the B storyline and just get it out of the way, which was that Bobby got kidnapped by Ward in 33 and was tortured, and it was kind of brutal.
Right. It was. So, you got Ward and 33, which was a storyline that was developed, I don't even want to say halfway through this season. I mean, I guess you could say it like, when we got back from our mid-season break, Ward was with Agent 33, but that was a storyline that just sort of propped up, that just came out of nowhere.
And you never were really sure if Ward was being truthful to 33? You didn't know?
Or did you care? That's the thing for me, is like, I love Ward.
Yeah, I cared because I loved Ward,
and I love Ward. I think Ward is great, and I think he's...
The Dirty Half Dozen was a fantastic fucking episode.
Yeah, no, that was a wonderful episode where they got the team back together.
Yeah, and that was great.
Yeah, it was a wonderful episode. And I think that was... Again, I still love S.H.I.E.L.D., and I think that it's good, and I think that we had some solid stuff, especially with the Inhumans, because I think the last time I was on the show, I believe we were talking about the fact that...
We were talking about Melinda.
Well, we were talking about Melinda, but we were also talking about the fact that I wasn't a huge fan of the, good S.H.I.E.L.D., bad S.H.I.E.L.D. thing that cropped up.
And I'm really glad that got, swept under the rug.
Yeah, it did, because eventually it was like, okay, great, we're going to fold them all in together because everyone hates this, and we're going to... our enemies are the Inhumans, and there we go. That was great.
Yeah, that was great.
The Inhumans are fantastic, and I'll take the Inhumans anytime. But yeah, the whole Agent 33 and Ward thing was weird, but we did have Bobby kidnapped it, which gave Hunter a really good
reason to stick around,
do stuff. Yeah,
and the reason they kidnapped it is because Bobby kind of gave up the hideout location for where 33 was, which led 33 to get kidnapped by Hydra, which got her brainwashed, yada, yada, yada. And, there's these great moments with Bobby while she's just being tortured, and she goes, and they're like, you just tell the truth, and we'll put an end to it. And she goes, I'll do you one better. If I ever confess to you, I'm lying. And you're just like, what? This bitch is hardcore, and I love it.
Well, I mean, what you gotta love about her and some of the characters that are showing up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is that she's actually a Marvel Comics character.
She's Mockingbird.
She's Mockingbird. And I think that, any moment that she gets to shine is Marvel themselves flexing their muscles and saying, hey guys, we've got our TV shows, and we know that everyone is loving Daredevil and hating on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. all of a sudden, but we've got viable Marvel characters, and I think, of course, as we go into talking about this, we'll end up talking about Mr. Hyde.
I'm one of those people who actually ate it up and loved Hyde.
Yeah. I loved it. Of course. That was awesome.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Don't worry. Yeah. We'll get to that. Don't worry. No, we don't want to jump the gun.
Right.
So basically we have this great little cat and mouse game as Ward and 33 are kind of beating the shit out of agents when Melinda and Hunter lead a team, right? I don't understand why they sent a team. Did we need a team to go in?
It was Ward. I mean,
yeah, but Melinda should have been able to fucking just wreck Ward, which we'll get to an awesome Melinda scene when we get to a storyline.
right.
But we have this really tense moment of like cat and mouse with 33, and kind of an emotional scene for Ward when he murderlates 33 because she looked like Melinda.
I see. Now we're talking about it, or are we just going over it?
No, we're talking. We could talk about it.
Here's my issue. Again, the whole development of the relationship between Ward and 33 felt wrong. Like, it just felt forced to me. It felt pointless. Like, you're forcing a relationship that isn't necessarily necessary. I thought that what we were going to find out is there was some higher purpose for them to be together, because it seemed to me the whole time that Ward was using her, like, kind of manipulating her brain so that he could use her for something else, which I think he did at one point, where he gave her back to S.H.I.E.L.D. and was like, hey, she's great, fix her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before she, kidnapped Bobby. And that was the thing, is like, so you have this really great sort of history between Ward and May, and you mean to tell me that if Ward comes face to face with May, he's just going to shoot her, he's just going to kill her like it's nothing?
Yes.
I don't know. I thought that was weird, but I guess okay. But yeah, then it was like, oh no, it's Agent 33, and for me, all I felt during that scene was like, okay, good, she's out of the way. Like, good, she's dead, and Ward can move on.
For me, it was a great scene because we actually saw that Ward cared, and there were shreds of humanity left with him, and then they were quickly ripped out. And I'm going, oh, good, we're not killing Ward this season. We might be developing as a super badass. But again, part of me is upset because I did want the old crew back together one way or another, because Dirty Half Dozen was fucking fantastic. It was great to see the old crew together.
Because I think that new Ward, like the Ward, like Hydra Ward, like smarmy, like I'm a loose cannon, I could go either way and kill you or love you, like that Ward. Because I remember, in the first half of the first season of S.H.I.E.L.D., you're just sitting there watching this character like, okay, he's the pretty boy badass, I guess. Okay, look at me. I'm super grumpy. I don't like anybody or anything, but I'm really good at my job. I can And then he finally started to play a little bit. He started, once he went over to Hydra, now he's got like this persona where he's like kind of a douchebag, but you love him anyway.
Yeah.
And so
I think the scene where he like goes to kill Fitz? Yeah. No, Simmons. No, which one is it? Fitz? Yeah, Fitz. And you're like, he's not going to kill her. Is he going to kill her? Is he? And he goes, you've changed. In just a smarmy way. And kind of just goes away. And you're like, man, I love New Ward.
Yeah. And so I think New Ward would fit so well on the team. Like, I would love New Ward back on our team.
You could see New Ward getting beers with Hunter.
Right?
And like them having a snark off. It'd be great.
And like, yeah, and then just the constant, anger and frustration from May. Hi, Kitty. This is Iggy. Hi. Yeah, say hi.
Yeah, say hi.
So you got that going on, and
and then there's this whole like thing where they realize to break Bobby they have to kill Hunter, so they set up like a booby trap, which was a little cliche, but I like that she physically took a bullet to show her emotional connection to Hunter.
And I don't mean to keep pointing out holes in this situation, but like let me just point this out. Like, you've got Hunter, who's not an idiot.
Yeah.
And in this episode already, you see him. No, but in this episode already, you see him going through doors to look for Bobby. And at one point, what does he do? He stands on one side of the door, and he reaches over and he opens it and throws the door open first.
Yeah.
Right? Standing to the side. So we see him do that at one door.
Why does he do it for that one?
Yeah, he's not going to do it for every door. Like, it wouldn't change Bobby's motivation to jump in front of the gun.
No.
But I just have to believe that, like, Hunter would always have just been like, okay, well, that works. You know what I mean?
Well, part of me also wanted to get foiled by just a big F you to the audience of just some random red shirt opening the door and getting shot. Just some guy going, oh, I'm going to clear this door. Bam! And she's like, oh, and Hunter's like, oh, good thing I wasn't that guy,
Right.
But didn't see that coming. Haha, Avengers. So that kind of wraps up B storyline. Jumping over to A storyline.
Wait.
Okay.
We have to finish though on the B storyline because of where Ward ends up.
Oh, I was gonna leave that for the ending.
Okay, that's fine. We can
just have the finale as the finale because there was 2 good cliffhangers. One cliche, one really good.
Right.
But I was gonna say that for the finale.
That's fine. Yeah.
So A storyline, we cut back to the Inhumans. Zhao Ying, or as I call her, Sierra from Dollhouse, is fucking crazy. She just has this crazy plan.
Did we talk about Scars yet? Where they bring S.H.I.E.L.D. to meet with the Inhumans,
and like then Adama comes up and like he's gonna do a peace summit, and you're gonna expect him to do something shady because he's like, I fucking hate powers, and like he actually is pretty sincere, and it's nice, and it's great, and then Sierra just breaks a crystal.
Jiaying, breaking crystals and killing her, shooting herself, and it's like she just wants to start a war because
why not?
She has, yeah.
I don't know.
She got face-sucking powers.
Yeah, she's like some vampire.
This is how she stays alive. Is she sucks power, which I thought was cool. I loved that. I was like, oh damn, okay.
Yeah.
So because already we just think, all right, her power is obviously that she's just forever young and she has healing powers, right? She's like, Agent Wolverine. Which I guess would be Agent X, but I remember. Or 23. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but
no, she sucks the life force out of people to heal herself, which is badass. And
right.
you see like some poor S.H.I.E.L.D. agent get eaten as Gordon just jumps around and is fucking shit up, and then a pretty major death. Okay, before we get to the death, we have a great scene of Skye versus Melinda.
Yeah.
And I loved it because it literally starts with May with one hand behind her back, going, "You're not a threat to me, darling. Please get out of the way." And she pretty much kicks the shit out of Skye.
She does. And like, I remember I was sitting here watching that episode, and I just said to the screen, I'm like, Skye, you can't. Like, you can't take her. Like, Skye, you can't take her. Like, you just can't. You're not going to be able to.
No.
The only thing this guy has that Melinda doesn't is earthquake
powers. Yeah, which I'm glad that they ended the fight that way, because it was more of like, man, if May had even the stupidest superpower, she would be a badass.
Yeah, no, you can't fight. I don't trust anybody against Melinda May. Like, I would expect May to be on the level of Grillo.
Yes. Yes.
Frank Grillo I'm sorry, Rumlow is the character, Frank Grillo is the actor, but Rumlow, Crossbones in Cap, where he still kind of fought Cap on the same level, for a little bit.
But still ultimately lost. Like, the closest thing on like this show would be another Ward fight, really. Ward or Bobby, really, but Bobby would get knocked out first. Ward would hang out for a bit, and then May would still win. Because, okay, real quick, who would win, Black Widow or May?
God, I'd want to see that fight.
That'd be a great fight.
I honestly, if I'm honest, I think May wins that fight. I just think she does.
Yeah.
Like, from what I've seen of May's fighting powers, like, I think Black Widow is a better tactician than May.
Yeah,
I think that's
if it was a straight up
she's
fight, May would win. But if Widow got the drop on her, it would be a bit more of a fight. Now
I think that's why Black Widow's an Avenger, is because not only can she fight, but she's just like, she's smart. She's super smart and she's super cunning. But I think if it's just you put the two of them in a boxing ring and tell them to simply just fight, I think May could take her.
Okay, now here's the next question before we get on with the show, because you know what, we love veering off on this shit when we talk about May. Okay, the question isn't who would win. It's how fucked up would Daredevil get before eventually beating May?
How fucked who?
How fucked up would Daredevil get before eventually beating May? Because I would say he would eventually win because he's got all that fucking senses, but I think he'd get the shit kicked in pretty goddamn hard. Like,
I'm gonna honestly say,
Nobu style.
Here's the thing, and I actually just recently read a Daredevil I read Shadowlands, which is really good.
Yeah.
Anybody? Which is Nobu was part of the hand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Just given what I know of the two worlds and where everybody comes from and the training and everything, I honestly think May beats Daredevil.
Okay, I give it to you.
I do. I think that she beats Daredevil simply because like Daredevil is street level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he can fight street level. And yeah, he fought Nobu. He almost lost to Nobu.
He almost lost Nobu.
And it was more luck than skill that he beat Nobu.
Okay. Let's say Melinda May threatened Wilson Fisk's mom. who would win that fight?
Look, man. I think that Wilson Fisk got lucky in his fight with Daredevil at the end, because he's got the brute strength and everything, but
she would do some like backflip, and he would just grab her out of the air and say no.
Yeah, I don't know. I think May would just trounce Wilson Fisk.
Okay, back on topic.
Right. Okay.
Wiggy agrees.
Yeah. Iggy says hi.
Yeah. Okay, compose, Bill. Okay. So after the fight, we kind of have this like pseudo attack on the village from S.H.I.E.L.D., though it's really just some guy that Gordo put on the Quinjet to blow stuff up.
To make it look like S.H.I.E.L.D. is attacking them.
But they attack an empty building, blah, blah, blah. And then we get a first major death of the season.
Can I hold off for 1 second?
God.
I have to answer the phone.
I'm just going to mute you and keep talking. I'm going to mute you. Okay. So I'm just going to mute him, and don't you worry about him. Oh my God, this is so unprofessional. This is what we're doing now? Okay. Well, we're going to keep going, people. Don't worry about it. So as the fight happens, they blow up this thing, and Skye has this talk with, oh God, what was her name? Yeah, this is what we're doing. And you see, I can't remember shit. So this is unbelievable. We're recording this still. He ends up. Up. We're gonna put it back on. Yep, this is me waffling because I can't remember names. So Skye goes to go talk to.
What name can't you remember?
Skye goes to talk to what's her face.
Raina.
I call her Flowers because that's what Bill Paxton called her. And Bill Paxton is God, okay?
I call her Thorny Face.
Thorny Face. So she goes talks to Raina, and Raina kind of gives like these fucking riddles that kind of goes around in circles one too many times. And she does say something that, Skye needs to lead the Inhumans, and we won't talk again. And you kind of go, well, that's kind of... I don't even know why you took a picture of that. Audience.
Because I'm Snapchatting us doing it, I think. Just...
Okay.
Social media everywhere.
Iggy, I love you, okay? Don't ever change. Jonesy, don't be offended. Okay, so anyways, back on topic, because this is the internet. Cats.
Cats everywhere on the internet.
This is the shit show. I'm just gonna drink myself into depression. We're never stop recording. We'll keep going.
No, we're not stopping. Just go.
We're just gonna keep going. Okay, so they have so eventually Raina goes to talk with Sierra Zhao Yang in the middle of the night, and this is gonna end badly, and they fucking murderate her. Like Zhao Yang stabs her with like a pen.
Right
in the neck, and Skye sees it, and she flips out, and they knock her out. And
because Skye was originally going to be on the side of the Inhumans because that's her people, it's her mom, and she wanted to be a part of it, and she wanted to be a part of it, but she also was like, hey, we can figure this out. We can, S.H.I.E.L.D. can be with us. We'll be fine and together, but it didn't.
No. She had to mutilate her in the middle of the open, so anybody could walk on. That's where Zhao Yang started to fall apart. So then we cut to Kale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's drinking his super vials, and he's freaking out in the cell, and he's like, too hot, too cold, kind of stuff. Do we want to go to S.H.I.E.L.D. or do we want to go to the boat? Where do you want to go?
I think it all kind of just takes place at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but what do you want to cover first?
We can cover the attack on S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay, so I read a review before I actually saw the episode that said that it looked a little corny, the transformation into Hyde. So I was really worried into it. But when I saw it, I loved it. I loved it. It was so subtle enough.
It was just a good homage to like what the idea of Mr. Hyde is like, you know, like
Yes.
from the actual novel and stuff. It's a good homage to that. It's this idea that like he's just this big hulking crouched figure, you know.
I like it because it was very subtle in the sense that it was like a prosthetic right here to make him look more primitive, like a caveman.
Yeah.
And like bigger hands, like slightly bigger fingertips, and then they just shot him at different angles to make him look bigger. And what I really enjoyed about it was after it was done, I had a second to like eat it, kind of mentally digest it. They bring up that every kind of form of making super soldier serum has failed, and I go, well, that's neat if you think about it and break it down. That it's not like this. Hyde serums isn't so much like taps into emotions like the Hulk serum did, which turned Banner into the Hulk because he was trying to make the super soldier serum. And it isn't so much a morality meter like the actual super soldier serum, which is the difference between Red Skull and Cap. But this one tapped into like the primal essence of animal that is in our DNA, and you see it in that sense of that caveman look and just how angry he is. And I just like how he gets shot by 5 icers or something like that. He goes, and now I can't feel my legs. And you're just like, oh fuck, what are you gonna do to him? I just loved it. I loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be.
I mean, it was just a nice little fight, nice little homage again to a character that's in the comic books,
and to an old movie.
Yeah, like you've got some really good stuff there, and of course, oh god, Kyle MacLachlan, just
love him. I'm so glad. Spoilers, he didn't die, but this is a show about spoilers. I was really glad he didn't die because I was like, I just loved him. I loved him this whole season. He was honestly my high point of the whole season. Just him. Him. He was fantastic from beginning to end. Best day ever. And the other thing that was really good about this was that you got to see the audience go along with him on how Zhao Yang is fucking insane.
Right. And it all made sense too. Like you really saw like this character who you kind of the whole season kind of thought he was the crazy one, but then once they sort of showed that Jiang had been manipulating him from the start, you're like, oh wow, that actually makes sense. That does make sense,
Yeah, and it was good because we as the audience got to take that journey with him. It wasn't like we weren't left out in the dust. No, we got to put the pieces together, and the pieces weren't really like shoved in our face. It was more of like, here's the next puzzle piece, and now here's the next puzzle piece, and you kind of go, oh man, we got played. And Kale felt the same way. And it felt really good to have him be like on board,
Right.
Which leads us to the boat. So they go to the boat.
Right.
To get the Kree artifact. And I honestly don't know because someone stole every scene in the show, and that was Mac. Mac was back to where he was in the beginning of the season, being awesome.
Just being a big dude who can throw his muscles around.
He was throwing out so many one-liners. It was fucking fantastic. Like the one where there's this classic scene where Sky's talking down. What was that guy's name? The buddy?
Lincoln.
And like you can see Lincoln starting to turn the gears, going yeah, and then just a fucking sledgehammer hits him in the face. This guy's like, I was turning him around. He goes, listen, I'm in the bash heads now to ask questions later. So if he gets up, we can talk it out. But right now, let's move. I'm like, thank you. And do you want to tell my favorite line that I think you know what you're talking about? The Gordon line.
No, I don't. I don't.
You don't know that one?
I don't remember.
Okay. This is my favorite part of the whole episode. Is the Inhumans' plan is to release, like, get all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents on the ship and release the crystal stuff into the airways and kill all of S.H.I.E.L.D. all at once. So they find out about it, and Mac is just sitting on this box of crystals. And Gordon pops in, because he's a night-crawling motherfucker. And you're just sitting there with a sledgehammer and a fucking fire axe. And goes, you must be Gordon, huh? Yeah, and who are you? I'm the guy who kills Gordon. And I'm like, I'm good.
Right?
I'm happy.
I loved the whole boat sequence. I really loved the way that like they figured out that it was a trap for S.H.I.E.L.D. So then they called off, all the S.H.I.E.L.D. because they had called what pretty much every
Everybody.
crew that they had to come to the aircraft carrier, and then bye. Um, so you got this situation going on, and I loved it, and I think it's interesting what happened on the boat, because this was the first time we saw the Inhumans in action as Inhumans. Like we really started to see, Marvel Cinematic Universe's answer to the X-Men.
Yeah,
I mean, we really did, and that's all I kept thinking the whole time. Is like, this is their answer to the X-Men.
Yeah,
because these are X-Men. They're all
multiple
X-Men.
man.
And God bless the Marvel Cinematic Universe going, all right, guys, we don't have the rights. How do we make multiple people with weird ass powers? Great, we have the Inhuman storyline, and that works so well. And I did my research on the Inhumans because I wasn't too familiar with them, and it all makes sense, and it all works really well. So this was just really interesting to see people with lightning powers, and then like what else? The girl who could multiply,
multiple man woman, and Nightcrawler.
And Gordon the night, and I feel like there was like one other guy, but then he got taken out really early. Like somebody with super strength or so. I don't know, but either way, like you have all these people with superpowers, and it was just crazy because you're finally like really, we're finally seeing them bring in the whole superhero thing, like the whole people with powers kind of coming in. My thing is with an Inhumans movie that they keep talking about, like it almost seems like the show, by introducing the Inhumans and showing them to be such a threat and showing them to be something like, we're getting almost as big of a threat as Avengers style. Like it seems like the Avengers should be maybe called in on these situations. Maybe, like these are big deals. You know what I mean?
They're kind of a problem.
Like, this is a huge thing, is to deal with the Inhumans. And so, with the Inhumans movie, after we've already kind of seen, like, the leader of the Inhumans and all this, like, I'm interested to see what they do then with Black Bolt and how he becomes the king of the Inhumans.
Like the royal family and all that stuff.
Yeah, and like, where they bring that in, because they obviously have to connect it directly to the show, because this is where our first...
Well, and the thing is, the show is doing a lot of, like, setup work for the movie, for people who go, what the fuck are Inhumans? And they go, well, if you watch season 2 of the show, you'll get a lot of backup, Right. That's nice. And, yeah, the boat sequence was a lot of fun. And though it was, like, the big dread moment, I never felt like, oh, this is very scary. No, you knew everybody was going to save the day.
I mean, I was wondering who was going to bite it. Like I did. I was wondering who was going to die. And because I figured this is where we lose somebody big.
And we didn't really.
No. Well, we can talk about the very end.
Well, let's recap the deaths. Basically, Simmons is a badass and makes a device that keeps Gordo in the room.
No, that's Fitz. Fitz developed that. Fitz is the guy. Simmons is the girl.
You sure?
Yes, 100%.
Fuck me.
Gemma Simmons.
Oh. Fitz.
Yep.
So when I was talking about earlier, it was Fitz, not Simmons.
Right. Yeah, I wasn't gonna correct you.
Correct me, because I used to have it, and today has just been like one of those days where all the brain cells aren't firing right.
Sorry, I'm actually looking up what Leo is his first name. Leo Fitz.
Leo Fitz. So Fitz builds this fucking device, which has another great line of dialogue where he goes, "All right, I figured something out," and Coulson's like, "Great, you figured out how to stop Gordon from teleporting." No, damn it. I just figured out how to keep him in the room. Okay, well, that's a start. Okay. And they show up. He gets to deliver a great line of science biatch. And then it's just like a beatdown fest on Gordon. It's like smack a pinata.
Right?
Coulson, Fitz,
and Mac
all have pipes and baseball bats and beams.
Uh-huh.
And they're
just going to beat the shit out of him.
What? It was kind of mean. And then he teleports into a pipe held by Fitz.
Dude, that was a scary moment. I thought we lost Fitz. The way that they shot that, like, and I know it was just, that's why they shot it that way, was for that dramatic reveal. But like, damn, I did think for a second, it's like, there we go.
That might have been a table flip. I quit the show moment.
But it was super cool that like he teleported just onto the pole, and Fitz is like, oh shit, okay. But I want to go back a little bit because like, I think before this, because we had that moment where before they all rolled out to do their fighting, you had this beautiful moment between Fitz and Simmons where
you've
got Fitz, who's just, you could tell, has always been in love with Simmons and told her at the bottom of the ocean how much he cared about her. And, then we had Fitz get immediately friend zoned,
Hard.
hardest friend zone I've seen in a lot of stuff. And then we've just got this moment at the end where Simmons, after a rocky season with Simmons, being kind of a bitch about a lot of things.
No, kind of. Total bitch.
Right? Like, just really not cool toward Sky or people with powers or Fitz or just anybody. You finally have this moment where she just, says, hey, can we talk about us? Can we talk about the fact that, basically in not so many words, she says, can we talk about the fact that I do like you? And I think that we should maybe try this, and Fitz having gotten just, dealing with his brain and dealing with everything and dealing with everybody treating him with kid gloves, finally gets a backbone and is kind of like, you know what?
There's nothing else to say.
We can talk about it, but we're not going to talk about it right now. Because I got shit to do because I've got my shit together, Simmons. So you figure your stuff out. I'm going to go figure my stuff out. And then when we're all done with this, then maybe we can talk. She's like, yeah, okay, cool. But you sort of sat there and you're like, this is it, guys. This is it. This is the ship that we've wanted the whole time. And
I was kind of hoping for the fake out kiss, only to Coulson to interrupt it kind of thing. Because she was like, can we talk about us? And he's like, I don't think there's anything more to say. I'm like, that's every angsty boy ever.
Right.
And she's like, well, maybe there is. And then he's like, and I would just... Except then Coulson just pops in and you're like, oh, cock
yeah, no,
Coulson.
that was a great, they were about to kiss and it's like, Coulson, you can't be cock blocking Fitz, goddammit. We'll get it. I mean, it's a slow burn. They're doing a really great job. It's like Mal and Inara. They're doing a good job.
Too slow of a burn.
well, I mean, it's never mind.
So, where do you want to go to the next one? Do you want to go to the Johnson family reunion or Coulson's fate?
I mean, Coulson's fate, I guess.
Okay, so after Gordo dies, he drops a crystal. He drops a crystal, and Coulson dives and catches it. And it's a nice little throwback to the beginning of the season when Lucy Lawless grabbed the what was it, the diviner, and her hand starts to turn to stone. Except before we can react, Mac cuts it off with a fire axe.
Just drops the axe and cuts Coulson's hand off, and all I can think is, all right, Disney, you now own both Marvel and Star Wars.
Let's just cut off everybody's hands.
Let's just start cutting off hands. It's about time people's hands started getting cut off.
Don't want them, yeah, so we have that happen, and then we get the showdown with Sky and her mom, and because her mom's getting away with the crystals, and Sky, really weird thing if you just took away all the CG of Sky slowly getting her brains drained, and her throwing force energy around,
which that was pretty rough. The fact that Jia-Ying just went full evil and was like, you know what, sucking your life.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, damn bitch. You really don't care about anything else but you and your people. But you are a selfish,
you're killing your daughter,
yeah, she's like, what did she say? Something along the lines of, I thought my purpose was to save you, but I guess your purpose for existing is to continue to give me life. And I'm like, damn.
You crazy.
Not cool. And then just Cal rolling in and just be like, baby, I got this. Just basically giving her one of these because he's still hopped up on hide serum. And just
snaps her neck.
And her neck is okay, damn. And then he holds her and he's like, don't worry. I have the capability to murder somebody. You don't have to do that.
And
then just
it hit the feels. It hit the feels.
Yeah, right?
It was just, yeah.
Because, and that's what he's been doing the whole season, like you kind of said, is we've been watching Kyle MacLachlan be evil, but with the best evil motivation, which is just he loves his freaking daughter.
Yeah.
And is tired of everybody messing with her. He was just such if he hadn't fallen in love with an inhuman weirdo, imagine what his life would have been like if he just fallen in love with Jenny down the street. He would have been such a happy dad.
But we do get to see that because he gets brainwashed. Right. By the Tahiti program, which was weird, and I don't know how I feel about it. But now he's running a vet, and he takes care of puppies, and it's yay.
It's beautiful.
I don't know. And then the show kind of wraps up. We get May's ex-husband back in.
May's
May
taking a
goes,
leave.
and I think she's hooking up with him again, Andrew.
Yeah, yeah, I think she is.
Yeah, good for
She,
her. I like.
she did get a gun.
I love that she went back for her gun. Like, I'm happy, but I'm not that happy.
Like it was. I'm just gonna relax. But if shit goes down,
I can take care of this.
right?
Of course, she could take care of it with a spork, so I don't know why she really needs a gun.
Eh,
Um,
it's May.
and what is it? We get okay. We get Ward's finale. What happens to Fitzsimmons, and then like the weird cliffhanger with Fish.
Yeah, that was weird.
That felt really forced.
That's a
and dumb.
bit much.
Yeah.
Because now it's just like
let's start with that one. So it shows the case that the Quinjet had of the crystals, and it was leaking underwater, and it was getting in fish, and then it was getting fished by fishermen, and then it gets turned into fish oil pills. So now they're gonna have an epidemic.
like I think the writing went a little wonky on that, and I think that's going to be one of the things where they did that, because I notice a lot of, especially with ABC shows, they'll finale a season with something really dire, and then they'll realize in the off season that something
dumb.
else was more important and that it was dumb, and they'll wrap it up in the first episode,
Yeah.
and then it'll be fine. I think we might have one of those reasons, because let me ask you this: if it does leak out into the ocean and gets into living organisms, wouldn't it just
stone them?
turn them to stone?
Yeah.
You know,
Or
like that.
does it have an effect with
only on humans?
human DNA because the Krull worked the
Skree.
the Kree. What's the Kull?
The Krull are the shape-shifting weirdos that can turn into
And then I was thinking of
Secret Wars and
then
stuff.
I was thinking of
Secret
Kull,
Invasion.
the 1980s movie with Liam Neeson as a minor character and an awesome boomerang blade. So don't even ask. Okay, the Kree?
Yeah, you know,
No,
yeah,
the Kree? Yeah.
the Kree.
The Kree were working on us, so it only works on our hue. I don't know. It felt really weird. That was
Basically, though, it's so huge. It's like, again, it's Avengers in scale. Where how can you not bring in the Avengers if most of the American population, or I guess it would just have to be one small thing, because I'm sure like all of America doesn't get their fish oil from those people. But like, you start making everybody either A, die, or B, start to have superpowers. You got to bring the Avengers in on this business.
Well, yeah, not to mention like, oh, I knocked it off into the water. We should probably go get that crate of crystals. We don't know how water reacts to it.
Remember the last time we let something just sit in the ocean and then we found it again? We got Loki.
Wah, wah, wah.
So,
yeah.
Like, it was just a weird ending, and I think it was like dun dun dun, and I just think it's too much dun 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 for us to deal with. So I'm hoping that they nip that one in the bud.
They probably will. It'll get covered up like within the first season. Ward.
Yeah.
So Ward's back at the bar. I'm assuming that he met Bocce in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And these biker guys come in. And one guy's giving him shit because Ward wanted names, and he says all the names are dead. Bocce, Whitehall, Stucker, someone else. They're all gone. Yeah. Normally a head grows back, blah, 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 blah. And Ward just fucking kills him. It was great. And you can see Ward's turning into a supervillain.
It was basically a Darth Vader moment where he kills, the guy in front of everybody else, and the other guys are like, all right, no, we're totally with you. Yeah, what do you want me to do?
Yeah. It's great. And we see him kind of maybe stepping into the shoes of being the Hydra boss.
He's going to be the head of Hydra now. Ward is head of Hydra now.
I'm for it.
Is what that implied. I'm totally cool with that. If you want to make, because we didn't get enough Ward in this season.
No, we really didn't.
Or in this half of the season. So I think to make him our number one villain, and kind of give him a little bit of real evil villain sort of a deal.
Don't kill him. Don't you dare kill him. Never.
No, they won't kill him. Because it's Brett Dalton. Like the actor Brett Dalton I don't think would allow himself to be killed. I don't know. I just don't. He's a series regular. So just from a simple logistics standpoint. So I'm just really glad I'm wearing my Iron Man ring.
Yeah, you gotta move your camera down a little bit so we can see it in action. Just a little bit. Move it down. Move tilt it down like right there. There we go. Now you're centered. All right. Now if you move it up to your chin. We can see it. All right, Mandarin. All right. Fuck you.
But it's literally an arc reactor on a ring.
Why would you need an... Okay, back on topic. All right. So why don't you tell us about... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Isn't that awesome?
Tell me what happens to Fitzsimmons.
Okay, so I don't necessarily remember their conversation, but I think it was another kind of like a... So remember what we were talking about?
Oh,
it was more
dinner.
scientific.
It was dinner.
Yeah.
What about dinner?
Right?
It's fast approaching. No, you and I should go get dinner.
Dinner. Like someplace nice. Like he's even said that. He was so cute. It's like someplace nice. And she was like, oh, yeah. And it was just a nice little moment where, and of course Simmons, always being the work-minded person, is whatever. And, so you finally got everything figured out there, and it was just really nice. And then, Fitz goes off to do something, and they're studying the Kree artifact. They're studying the alien artifact, which looks to be a solid piece of stone. And then all of a sudden it liquefies itself and sucks Simmons into it, and then that's it.
Well, it almost looked like the gravitonium at first when they first show it, because there was 2 major players from season 1 that are missing. Well, not major players, like one major player, the guy who has the gravitonium, and Dr. Gravitonium, the guy inside of it.
Right.
So I was kind of shocking. So when they first showed it on the ship, I was like, "Oh, it's the gravitonium." No, it's a Kree object. Oh, okay. So Simmons getting sucked in. I'm wondering how they're gonna fix that.
I mean, obviously, here's what I think is interesting. We've seen Simmons this whole season have like a flip-flop issue with people with powers.
Give her powers
and stuff. And I think that we're gonna watch her come out of this thing kind of just like, I don't know what to do. Kind of like the Senator in the first X-Men movie, where they make him like a liquified thingy.
He makes him
like
water.
I think she's just going to be freaking out and not know what to do. And of course now you'll have Sky who's going to try and help her, but it's going to be different. It's going to be different than what happens when you go through the mist. It's going to be something bigger.
Bigger, yeah. I think it's going to be like maybe the first half kind of problem.
Right.
So okay, that was the season finale. And you were just generally overwhelmed. You were underwhelmed, yeah?
Yes, I was. I was underwhelmed.
I wouldn't say I was overly excited, but I thought, man, that was just a good ending of the season. I thought it was solid.
I was underwhelmed because I didn't get a larger connection to the Avengers. I wanted a larger connection to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, granted, everything about the Avengers felt tacked on. And I was like, you guys had like 2 years to get into the next Avengers film. You guys fucked up. Everything took place between an episode. The big thing Coulson was working on was rebuilding the helicarrier, and that was it. We could have worked a little bit more. Why didn't Hawkeye show up and shoot some Inhumans?
Yeah.
Why didn't Tony Stark be like, "Yo, Coulson, what up, dude?"
Right. I just think that we lacked that larger connection to the larger universe, especially that we kind of, I don't know, I guess I was expecting out of a season finale. So
I was expecting maybe Fury to show up, or
right.
There was a picture of Greg, what's his name, Coulson,
Clark
Gregg with Jeremy Renner, and everyone was assuming Hawkeye was going to show up. But
that'd have been cool.
That would have been real cool. Overall, I think season 2 was miles ahead of season 1.
Very much so.
We traded out Bill Paxton for I've always forget his name. I call him Mr. Twin Peaks.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan, who fucking, if you can't act, if you have poor acting, you might as well eat the scenery. And that man ate the scenery all the time. And it was just fantastic from beginning to end. You loved his character at the end. The build up to S.H.I.E.L.D. for me was worth it and done appropriate, and I loved it. And the weird thing is, for a show to hold all of its secrets and then pretty much all of the season released all its dirty laundry. The show doesn't have any more secrets other than what the hell is that Kree object that she got sucked into. That's it. We don't have anything else. The longest one they were holding was Melinda May's backstory, and we covered that last time Michael Knight was on. But past that, everything's covered. Everything. It's great.
It's good. And I will be looking very much forward to season 3 and season 2 of Agent Carter, which I'm really glad ABC brought back both of them. So.
I have to catch up on Agent Carter, and then we will be doing regulars for Agent Carter, and we'll have this man on for sure. I don't know what else is on in our off seasons. We'll find shows. Don't worry. We'll finish up Game of Thrones. And then we'll probably shift the regulars into movie reviews. Starting with the Avengers when I get everybody together. And when I go see Fury Road, we'll do Fury Road. And Jurassic World. And somebody else can do Ant-Man because I'm not fucking seeing that movie.
Oh, you got to see Ant-Man. You have to see it. You can't not see it.
Yes, I cannot see it.
You can see it and hate it, but you have to see it.
Every time I see a trailer, I'm like, it's selling me, it's selling me, it's selling me. And then the first one, it's like, did he just climb an ant with wings that makes helicopter noises? I'm out. And then the second trailer, I'm like, it's selling me, I'm almost there. Is that Thomas the Tank Engine? Motherfuckers, I'm out.
Hold on. If Edgar Wright was still directing it,
then it would have been fantastic. Because then Thomas the Tank Engine would have been voiced by Simon Pegg, and it would have been great.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to us ramble for 45 minutes on the season finale of S.H.I.E.L.D. Thank you, Michael Knight, for showing up. Great, always. Great big, and we'll have you on for Agent Carter season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And whatever movie you want to be on, just let me know. Yeah. As always, like, comment, subscribe, tell us how dumb we are, and we'll catch you later. We have many more things coming down the pipeline. Stay tuned.
Bye-bye.